Gym Leads started as an internal solution to a problem, which is how to get enough leads so you're not constantly stressed about where your next sale is going to come from, and how to nurture those leads to A, actually show up, and B, nurture them in a way where you're not constantly glued to your phone 24/7, having to call people as soon as they come in. Because I actually found, for me, that was the most stressful part. You can't be present with your kids or have dinner without, Susie just came in on the lead. I got to double dial and try and book her an appointment. Like, it's no way to live. Well, that's how Gym Leads was born.
Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I could have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. All right, we are live. JP, what's going on, man?
Not much. Another below zero snowy day in Calgary.
Dude, it's like 80s here in Phoenix, man. It's crazy. I don't know how you Canadians do it, man.
I don't know, man. I think it's maple syrup in the blood. Just keeps us a little bit warmer.
It's got to be something, man. It's got to be something. But yeah, we got a really special episode for you today, and we're bringing JP Levesque on. So he is an ad expert, gym owner too, former gym owner. You've been in the business for a long time. You have been in a billion different masterminds and programs, and you've tried everything on the ad side of it. You are very well versed in this kind of thing. So we wanted to bring you on to really talk about like how to get and nurture 100 plus leads per month without burning out. Because from my experience, this is where I've struggled. Cost per leads are actually relatively easy to get cheaply again. Like they used to be super cheap, and then they're pretty decent, but some people still struggle to get a return on investment, right? Then, Apple did their iOS thing. It threw everything sideways for a while, right? COVID happened. So gym owners have been through the rut. And then now, like, cost per lead is still pretty easy to get reasonable, but response rates have just dropped like crazy. So yeah, you're getting leads, but half of them you'll never hear from no matter what you do. And the nurture that's involved to get these people in the door, get them to show up for their appointments, and then to sell them, it's just like, it's a lot of work. And it can very easily lead to burnout. And you experience that yourself. So yeah, I wanted to bring you on because, you're cutting edge with this kind of stuff, help educate the people in our Gym Owner Freedom Facebook group. You work with a lot of our people in PT Legends, which is really cool as well. So yeah, JP, welcome. Yeah, give us a little bit of background information on yourself.
Awesome.
I kind of already did, but
a little bit. I'll give you some details, but thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here, and basically just want to get the right information in the hands of gym owners, because I know what that cycle of feast and famine and high stress, low stress is like through the course of your year and the course of ownership. And it can be a complete roller coaster, which is not that fun. So I'm going to take everything I've learned from all my years, all the programs, all the coaching I've done, and help to move gym owners those few steps forward to make their life a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. So just real quick background on me. I bought and sold a CrossFit gym. So I owned it for 6 years. I've been in the fitness industry for double that amount of time, starting as a personal trainer way back when at Gold's Gym. And I've kind of come through the gamut of everything. I survived COVID. I sold my gym after that. And I just decided, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'd put in my decade, and basically it was time for me to move on and explore other avenues of entrepreneurship. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is marketing. Because when you started a CrossFit gym, if you started in the early days, you could start opening, 2012, 2014, 2015, whatever, and people would just show up and fill your gym, and you kind of hit that Dunbar's number of 150 people, just like that, and things would be easy and it'd be good to go. And the model had kind of proven itself. Post-COVID, certainly not the case anymore. A lot more challenging to do. So not only do you need to offer a really good product and a really good service, you actually have to figure out how to sell and market as well. And so most gym owners, they're passionate about what they do, about training people, about the nutrition side, about really investing in those relationships and seeing those results, but they're not as passionate or knowledgeable about the sales and marketing side of things. So that's where Gym Leads comes in to help fill the gaps for gym owners on basically what's that other side of your business that you need to be really successful long-term.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just crazy. There have been so many changes just over the last 10 years. It's wild. And this is what chews people up and spits them out, because it's really hard to adapt and to change to it fast enough. And then there's also the opportunists, right? It's the opportunists, and we've all been burned by marketing companies. I can't tell you how many agencies or people I have hired and fired or been taken, like I've been taken advantage of, or this or that. So it's hard. It's really hard to trust, because it's like every time you try it, it doesn't work out. Right. And some of them, hey, they don't have bad intentions. Right. Some are trying their best. It's just a tough market. And some of them flat out are just kind of, it's like SEO back in the day. Like all the SEO, it's like the Wild West, and everybody's making these outrageous promises for wide amounts of money. And all they're doing is like posting a blog for you like once a month and researching keywords, and it got you nowhere. It's very difficult to trust.
Yeah, 100%. And it's one of the things that I see that's just super pervasive in the marketing world is people will tell you, this doesn't work anymore, or that doesn't work anymore. And, I literally just came across a post on Instagram where this guy's like, lead magnets are dead. You can't use lead magnets to get low cost per leads anymore at all. And I'll show you how to, what the fix is. And he's like, it's in this book. It's a $4.95 book. And it's like, dude, you're literally selling a lead magnet
Right.
in your post.
Right.
Like, are you out of your mind? And it's like, as soon as I always have to stop myself from commenting on social media posts, especially on ads, because it's like, you're not going to get me that way. But it's like, there's just so much bullshit out there that, I want to cut through it and make sure that people know what's what. So is it cool if I tell you a little bit about how Gym Leads came about?
Yeah. Like that's good. So you're an owner of this, that you got into Gym Leads, and yes, an interesting story with it. Let's get into that. That'd be great for people to hear.
Okay. Well, first of all, selfishly, Gym Leads started as an internal solution to a problem, which is how to get enough leads so you're not constantly stressed about where your next sale is going to come from, and how to nurture those leads to A, actually show up, and B, nurture them in a way where you're not constantly glued to your phone 24/7, having to call people as soon as they come in. Because I actually found, for me, that was the most stressful part. You can't be present with your kids or have dinner without, Susie just came in on a lead. I got to double dial and try and book her an appointment. Like, it's no way to live. So I tried a bunch of different solutions. I tried running ads myself. I tried using different agencies, and I've tried some different combinations. And ultimately, I would find either the costs were too high or the results were not good enough to warrant it. Basically, too much money for not good enough results, or not good enough results for too much of my time. Those were kind of the things. So, for example, I spent $2,000 a month on a marketing company without lead nurture, and I got slammed with leads. Now, the offer they used was a bait and switch. It was a free 6-week challenge offer. So I got a ton of leads, a ton of low quality leads, and I was literally just drowning trying to keep up with all of them. And I did make sales doing it that way, but it was super stressful. And it was something that I really couldn't sustain just in terms of workload. Like I'm talking 70-hour weeks, trying to make, arrangements with my wife to be like, yeah, I'll be home after 7. I'll be home after 7, 3 nights a week. And the other nights I'll be home at 6. Is that cool? And you're just trying to like negotiate to figure out how to run your business. And they're like, that's no way to live. So that was one of the experiences. And the other thing I did was I plugged in a VA to do lead nurture for me. And I was like, great, I'm free. Like, and it was an immense feeling of freedom when I plugged in this person. But not only am I still spending at least $1,500 a month to run ads, now I'm spending another $1,000 plus a month on a VA. And when I actually go back and comb over his work, he's not doing what he says he's going to do. He's not calling people in the time frame. He's not available as much as he should be.
That's the tricky part. It's really hard to get somebody to do that for you consistently.
Totally. So basically spending upwards of $2,500 a month to get low quality leads and poor follow-up done on my behalf.
Plus you got your ad spend on top of that, right?
Plus I got my ad spend. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a place where this is no longer sustainable.
Yeah.
So that's how Gym Leads was born. We've got our ads genius, Shannon McNeil, who's running the ads, getting great cost per leads for us. So we know that the money we're putting in, we're getting a good value, especially for our market. And then we've got our team of lead nurturers all set up who are going to call as your assistant if you're a Gym Leads customer, and they're available 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. They're native English speakers, and they're going to follow up with people for 7 days after they become leads. Yeah. So it just like it changed the game, and it literally like my return on ad spend, my return on marketing budget, like my return on time, like everything just opened up for me after this solution came together. And it was something that is like, this is now a piece of my business that it's not going to come and go. I've installed it, and it's a permanent lead generation and appointment setting machine for me.
Yeah, it's really neat how this thing is built on the back end. Because like, so I've got 6 gyms starting up a 7th, and I don't work in any of them, but I don't even want my GMs, who really handle all the sales and are in charge of acquisition. I don't even want them to have to live by their phone for 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're not going to. And that's what it takes to get like leads come in. They're very unresponsive. The key to making them convert and getting them in for consultations is getting to them as fast as possible. And that's where automations come in. So everybody's got the automated text messages and emails. But the problem is now everybody has automated text messages and emails, and people are getting blown up on their phones from just spam all over the place. So like that is not as effective as it used to be. And what is effective still though, is calling within minutes of that coming in as soon as possible. And even double calling, because nobody picks up unknown numbers anymore, right?
Yeah.
So but you call again, you have a really good chance, because they're like, oh, this must be important. I need to answer this one, right? And then they'll call. So you guys, so like I said, I got 6 gyms going on 7. It's a really hard thing because these leads come in at all hours of the day, weekends, and I can't have one person living by their phone from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day forever. But that's what it takes. And like, what am I going to do? Hire 3 people? And then, like you said, are they actually going to do it? And then what does that cost me, right? To span that many hours. I don't know how many hours that is, but that's a lot of hours, 14 times 7. And it's not economically feasible, right? But you guys found a way to make it happen, right? Because these people feeling the phone calls, they're going to be your appointment setter.
Yep.
They'll answer and be like, hey, I'm Scott Cartwell. I don't work in the gyms, but my GMs, right? Hey, I'm Clayton's appointment schedule. And first step is I want to get you on a quick call with him, just see if you're a good fit for the program, right? And you guys will schedule that quick discovery call. He knocks it out. You guys have his calendar. He fills in the gaps. Boom, boom, boom. And holy shit, like it makes Clayton's job so much easier and more relaxing, which means I get to keep him as an employee or a partner. Well, he's a partner actually, but right. It makes everything easier because it's just not sustainable. Like you were burning the candle at both ends with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the minute you're paying all this money, paying somebody to run the ads, even paying if you can do an appointment setter at that point, which is going to cost you quite a bit. You had one for cheap, but probably not the full hours. And they weren't doing a good job, obviously. But the minute you stack those two things on top, plus the ad spend, good luck getting the return on your ad spend now. Now you're negative going into it. And that's the hard problem. So what do people do? They either minimize their ad spend or they withdraw from paid advertising altogether. Is typically what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's such a shame because, if you're following along on the content, you're going to hear me say a lot of this stuff a lot of the time, but there are only 3 traffic sources that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy it, which is paid traffic. You can borrow it, which is somebody else's audience, or you can own it, which is like your email list or customer list.
Yeah.
And paid traffic is by far the fastest way to generate leads and generate sales. And what most people do is they make the mistake of just trying it once for a couple of weeks and just it not really panning out, or they're not really understanding it, and then they give up on it. And there's such huge upside potential for you to do it long term. You just have to know how to do it right, or get somebody who can do it right for you. And actually, I have a confession to make. Part of the process from gym leads, we just stole from PT Legends, which is the discovery call. And that's one of the things that makes our process so effective and our show rates so high, is we're not just calling people to like generically, aggressively book an appointment to get them down to the gym for a free, no sweat intro, because most people by now have figured out that's code for you're going to get sold.
Yeah.
We're actually trying to connect with them, having your assistant call and set this doctor-like framework of authority. Like, doctors aren't calling patients to book appointments. You have an assistant do that. And then getting this person on the discovery call, which, by the way, we're going to give you the script for that. You have this person actually ask the person why they're interested and get them to qualify themselves. So when they do show up for an appointment, not only are show rates going to be much higher, they're primed, they're ready, and they're receptive, waiting for this doctor, which is you, to give them a prescription, a solution to their problem, instead of showing up like wearing their rain jacket, feeling like they're going to get this icky pitch.
Yep. They're waiting for it. Yeah. Yep. And that's been the cool thing, is like, because when we started working with gymleads.io, you guys were kind of booking them to consults, which is good. But we all know that those no-show rates for consults from Facebook and Instagram ads, huge no-show rates, big problem. I see places with over 70% no-shows. Freaking wild, right? Not always that bad, but it just depends on your area and everything, right? Even if you're doing everything right. But then you worked with us, and instead of booking straight to the PCs, because our first step is doing a 5 to 10 minute discovery call. And again, yes, they qualify to work with you. You get the first date over with. You reduce the barriers for them that uncomfortable coming into your gym, which is why some of them bail, right? They get to know you, talk to you first. You get to get them to qualify to meet with you and flip the script on them. And so that the discovery call, legitimately, when we did this in our first gym back in 2020, as COVID started opening back up, Dave, my partner Dave, is usually on this. He sold over 40 grand in new business just from implementing the discovery call and having a higher ticket offer. And so you guys, we tested out booking to the discovery call instead of booking to the consultation or the no sweat intro or the free session, whatever people want to call it. And then, like, man, ROI exploded when doing that, because we booked in way more calls, and then we got to qualify them. And the time wasters we didn't invite in. Right? We factored them out, and sweet, we're saving time and making way more money. And that was a really cool thing. Like, I love how you guys are innovating and testing. And that's why, you're like, hey, for gym leads, can we teach the discovery call? That, yeah, absolutely. I mean, gym ownership is tough, man. And got to use what works.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's not the same market it was even just a couple of years ago. So you've got to keep innovating, and you've got to figure out a way to make things work, because at the end of the day, people are still in need of your service. You just have to figure out how to connect with them. And one of the things that I found was actually really crazy with discovery calls is at the end of the discovery call, you get somebody to send you a text. It's a little bit of homework for them to basically tell you, what are the real reasons? What's their true motivation for them to want to work with you. And what you end up getting via text are what I like to call love letters, where people would just like open up and tell you their life story about what's motivating them to come in to your gym and make this change. And that puts you in such a position of power and control, not only to have a great console, not feel like you're being like a gross needy salesperson, but also to offer higher ticket, more expensive solutions to this person's problem. So again, I can't say enough good things about the DC, but if I could, I'd like to show a real quick real life example of one of the gym owners we actually both know, and some of his results with gym leads. Can I show you that real quick?
Totally. Yeah. So I love that. Like, it's great talking theory, but then I like to look at like what's actually being done. Like, let's open up and look at some real numbers. So yeah, absolutely. It should be set up for you to be able to share a screen if you want.
All right, let's give this a shot here. So I'm just going to show one. I've got a bunch, but for time's sake, let's just do that. So let's go ahead and show.
And by the way, as he's pulling this up, guys, you guys watching live on here, or even if you're watching this on the podcast later, this at a later date, I know JP, for those that are watching, he's got some type of giveaway. I don't know what it is, but he'll right after we kind of finish this, he'll let you know what it is. And I think you have a limit on it, but he's giving something away for free. So just comment free when he does it. So don't hop off yet if you're in a rush, or visit back. Comment free if you have to get off early. I don't know what it is, but he'll get into that in a few minutes.
Yep.
Yes, Corey Willis. Yes, one of my favorite dudes.
Corey Willis. So not to go too far into the details, I just really want to talk numbers here. This is in his first week. First of all, he's saying that he's been too busy to keep up with PT Legends Communications because he's so busy selling and making money. 14K new business, but he sold 9K in his first week. He's got a 6x ROAS. He's 30x his leads. He's at an 80% close rate
with paid ads. That's insane. And I remember that because he actually started that when he was on vacation. Like that first week that you showed, like he turned gym leads on when he was on vacation and scheduled the consults for when he was coming back from vacation.
Which is actually funny because that was the impetus for the creation of gym leads for me personally. Like, that was a low point where I was like, hey, none of this stuff is working for me. I was actually on a 2-week vacation in Hawaii with my wife, stressed out of my mind out about how much money I was spending on ad spend and marketing company and lead nurture, and not able to be at my gym and make sales. That for me was a low point. So the fact that he did that on vacation and just it started to work from right away, like that for me was the proof right there that this is really going to be something that's going to help people. But as a long story short, Corey doesn't have to manage Facebook ads. He doesn't spend any time doing lead nurture, and he simply focuses on the parts of his business that he enjoys. And Gym Leads has given him the freedom so that he can build a business that serves him instead of him having to work in his business and basically having a job instead of a business. Now, a couple of quick updates long term. He's gotten 266 leads with an average cost per lead of $778, 127 appointments booked, a 50% show rate, and sales continue to roll in. So this is where we're currently at today.
That's pretty
hands off.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Smoking cost per lead. That being said, like, I have a pet peeve with cost per lead too, because sometimes that's just what people want to look at and they'll get panicky and shut stuff up. Like, cost per lead is not everything, because I know people getting an $8 cost per lead and they're negative on their ROI, their return on ad spend, ROAS, whatever you can call ROI or ROAS, they're negative on it. And it's not, because they get a bunch of junk leads or this or that. Like, so like ROI is like cost per lead is not the only metric that matters. It's indicative. It's also relative to the market, right?
Totally.
I have gyms where you guys get me that, but then I also have like hyper competitive ones in Scottsdale where I'm paying more than 2 times as much, 2.5 times as much. But that's good there. That's actually a good CPL there. And I am really profitable there. So like you guys are getting good CPL, but I want to overstate, guys. If you're getting in 100 leads and at the end of the day, who actually shows up for your consults is 5 and you close 3, you're screwed. For most of you. If you have a high ticket offer like we do, you might be bringing, $7 to $9 grand from those 3 closes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons that I like working with PT Legends members and you in general is you're literally the only person in the gym space. The word guru always pops into my head, but that's not the right title. That has proven the model over and over and over again to be successful and repeatable. So definitely knows what to say on that end. I know that you are opening up that new location soon. Can you tell everybody what is the role that Gym Leads is going to play in that new location?
Yeah, so we piloted one location, maybe two. I can't remember. We did one or two at a time. With when this is how we started with Gym Leads, and then it did really well. So we quickly converted all of them over to it. And some we stopped doing Facebook ads. I was paying another company $1,200 a month just to run ads. We could not get them in the doors for the life of us.
Yep.
And I didn't even really trust them either. And I don't want to get into it. I don't need to poo-poo that whole thing. But so I went into it hesitant. I'm just like, take one. I think it was just one at first. Then when I felt good, I added the second. But then as the metrics started rolling in and the ROAS was there, the return on ad spend was awesome with, by the way, this is the kicker, like no extra work. I mean, you guys are doing it all. That's the huge thing. And I mean, when I priced it out with other like appointment setting businesses, like, yeah, I was paying somebody $1,200 a month, and I was looking at hiring somebody that I think was $2,200 a month on top of that. But that was only 5 days a week for 8 hours a day. And that doesn't cut it. Like, what about Saturdays? What about Sundays? What about 6 p.m.s? What about, right? All that stuff. And so I'm like, there's no way I'm willing to try that. You guys found a way to just make it massively economical, where it's like such a no-brainer. So that's why I gave it a shot, despite the fact that I just gotten burned. And then quickly added all my other ones then, because it was working. And the fact of the matter is I can sell one person and make my money back. It's crazy. So anyways, with the new gym, yeah, we're having gymleads.io just run it right from the get-go, because it is the fastest, the easiest, the most likely to do it. You know, and the cool thing is if somebody just want to do the ads, you guys have that option too, right? But the ads and the appointment setting, all of that nurture. And I don't think you mentioned it, but you actually run reactivation campaigns every 3 months on my entire database.
Yep.
So you asked for me to download my first name, last name, email, phone, and upload it. And the cool thing is like that brought in 10 grand in the first month alone from my existing places, just from re-engaging my old leads, which I've done a crappy job at, right? And you just brought in a lot. And talking real numbers too. Shannon Logan is another person that's a PT legend.
Yeah.
And does Gym Leads. I think her first month she brought in like 14 grand. I think 1 or 2 new people, because it started like partway through February, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a full month at all. And then, but all the reactivation stuff, right?
Yeah,
and I think
13x in that first
13x ROI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And which is unheard of, obviously. And then I think her months, if I remember correctly, they're around like 3.5 ROAS when you were booking to the consultation.
Yeah.
And then we got traction booking to the DC, the discovery call instead. Shannon switched to doing it, and her return on ad spend in that first month shot to like 8.9 or something like that. 8 to 9. Am I right on that one? Something like that.
I think it was a little bit more like 6, but still doubling your ROI.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
Process tweak.
But think about that, guys. 6x ROAS. Think about that. Okay, what that means is you put $1,000 in the machine over there, and on the other side of the machine, you collect $6,000.
Yeah.
What the F? Like, that is amazing, especially in 2023.
Yeah. And you know, Scott, we're in business. We like to make money, but aside from the making more money, right, which is we want to do to take care of ourselves and our family and all that stuff, the process is just so much easier as a gym owner to run with. You're not having to mess with Facebook ads. You're not having to do lead nurture. You're not having to bend over backwards to book these appointments. So it's so much less mental energy for you to just come in and sit down with people. And because they're pre-qualified, you don't feel like you don't have that commission breath, like that desperation to sell people. You instead can select the people you actually want to work with and you want to serve. So it makes the process of selling and deciding who you want to join your community that much more easy and fulfilling to do for the long term. So yeah, we all want to make more money, but the process by which we do that has to be something that feels good and feels sustainable. And that's something that we've also really helped to smooth out and nail for the gym owners who are in our program.
Yeah. And that's so important. Like, we got into this business to make a difference, right? Yeah. And then it's such a hard business. It drains people of their life force, and they just end up hating. I was that way for a lot of years as I was struggling in my first 6 years of business. Like, if you would have given me an out, if I would have had a rich client who could make the personal guarantees and the leases go away and set me up with a good, stable job, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. Thankfully, that opportunity was not there. I persevered, right? I got lucky. I've met some amazing people. I picked up some skills completely randomly from some investments and Dave spending money when he shouldn't have. And it all led to kind of what we stumbled upon, which was changed everything. But then, yeah, and then it allowed me to have confidence again to start doing the marketing again, which I proceeded to get burned like crazy again until gymleads.io, right? And then it really solved my biggest headache, which, I mean, we have an amazing organic acquisition strategy. It's great. But then the paid side too, you have the dual lead flow. And the one thing keeping gym owners up at night, and it was keeping me up at night even so, was just like the consistent source of leads.
Yep.
If you don't have a consistent source of leads, no matter where your business is at, you're still going to worry. You're still going to worry. And right now that's gone, it's just so much easier. It doesn't really matter what happens in the gym. We could lose our GM. This could happen. That could happen. I know we can get it back very quickly if the worst happens. And so I just don't worry about it anymore. That, not having that low key or high key anxiety, depending on where you're at in your business, not having that is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's huge. And then as you go through the process, you'll really start to trust that machine. You know, we talk a lot about the ROI machine where you put in $1 and get 3 out, or 5 out or 6 out, or whatever it is. When you're new, you're wondering if when you put that dollar in, you're going to get it back.
Yes.
Right. But as you go through the process, you're going to see, okay, so when I spend this much money, I get this many leads, I get this many booked appointments, and on average, I get this many sales. So it starts to really alleviate that worry of like, hey, I don't know where my next sale or lead is going to come from. And it makes your life a lot easier. That being said, I don't want to take up too much time on the call today. So I really just want to get into who Gym Leads is for. And then I want to make my offer if that's cool with you.
I'm game for it.
Sweet.
Give me 2 seconds first. Jay's asking questions. I missed it. You guys book the DC, and then gym salesperson does it correct. The salesperson books the consult from there. Yeah, so it can be set up either way, depending on somebody's business model. If you want the appointment setter to book the consult, they can absolutely do that, right? Directly book it into the consult. They'll see your availability, right? You connect the stuff on the back end. They'll see your availability or your staff's availability. They will arrange that time and book it in. What we have found, and you can still do that, but we tested running to our discovery call first, and speed to lead, baby. This is one reason is they'll have still your calendar, but you only need to leave like 15-minute windows open for it, right? So they can book in way faster. They don't have to wait till your schedule is open and their schedule is open, which might be in 3 days, which you're getting an 80% no-show rate at that point. Like, it can be today, it can be in an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever you set these windows at, they can do, because it's a phone call, a 5 to 10 minute phone call. It's super easy. And they just pitch it like, first step is to get you on a quick, 5-minute phone call with Scott. And he's going to ask you a couple questions, see if you're a good fit for the program. And then they just, boom, they do it. So you are booked and going. You got your DC, and then the person doing the DC, whether it's you or a staff member, will then book the consult. That, like, pretty much double the amount of appointments booked when we switched it from the PC to the DC. It can be done either way. I would highly advise it that way. But the cool thing with marketing in different areas and everything, we run different ways, right? You got it, Jay. Okay, JP, back to you.
Yeah, and I mean, just to finish on that, I've run a lot of ads for a lot of gym owners, and a phrase I've heard a lot are low quality leads. And so you don't want these people clogging up your schedule, and the DC eliminates that. Because if you get on the phone and somebody's not on the level, hey, sorry, I don't think this program is a good fit. I'm going to send you over to my friend Bob at the closest F45, and just, you're on your way. That being said, if they are a good fit, you make an emotional connection, and that person is going to come in ready to listen and engage with you, and your show rates are going to be way, way higher because that connection has been made. So the DC is a great way to get rid of those lower quality leads that are just clogging up your pipeline and your calendar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd recommend it. So moving on, who is Gym Leads for? I would say the first thing is Gym Leads is for somebody who is sales minded. A lot of gym owners, they don't like the word sales. It makes them feel icky, but your product is literally adding years to somebody's life. So if you haven't done it yet, you've got to adopt the mindset that sales is a service. You're helping somebody figure out what is right for them. And your product, it's not a pack of cigarettes, it's not a double cheeseburger, it's health and fitness. It's literally life extension. So the first step is you've got to be somebody who likes to sell, who wants to sell, who has that sales as a service mindset. Because the thing I don't want is for you to come on to Gym Leads and to get all these booked appointments, and then for you to be like, well, I wanted to grow my business, but I actually don't like doing sales, so this isn't going to work out. I want people who are ready to get after it and who are ready to sell, serve, and win. So that's really the first thing.
That's just a lot of integrity.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it does. You don't want everybody, because, and you're right. God, if you guys listening out there, if you haven't adopted that sales mindset, if you aren't confident, you need to change that, because you will always suffer, and your family and your clients that you don't serve. Your sales is not doing something to somebody, it's doing something for somebody. And if you feel that the other way, you had the wrong sales system, reach out to me for help on that one, because you are selling an amazing thing that people absolutely need. So yeah, that's awesome, JP.
Yeah, 100%. So that's the first one. We want to lead with sales. And the second one is just making sure that your business is stable enough. If you feel like you are the only cook in the kitchen and your head is on fire and you're running around all the time like a chicken with your head cut off, mix of metaphors here, but like you don't have any time or any focus, and it feels like things are just exploding all the time, and you can't focus on this and really plug this next piece into your business. Essentially, if your business isn't stable or doesn't feel stable, then I'm going to give you plenty of resources to help stabilize your business through all the content I'm putting out, but you're not ready yet. You want to be able to fully plug this in and dedicate yourself to this to make it work. So make sure that you're ready to sell, and make sure you're ready to plug this new piece into your business and you're ready for growth. And to do that, I'd ask that you have a stable platform to do that from.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I've done it where it's like people, I've seen people hire a marketing company as like a Hail Mary, but they're not prepared to do the sales. They're not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just, they pay the money and expecting a miracle to happen.
Yeah.
You still have to sell. You still have to do your part, right? You still have to make sure you have the time availability to service the sales and all that, right? And that your headspace is in the right way, where it's not like, I'm going to do it for a month and then that's it, right? It's, yeah.
Exactly. And it's funny enough, because if you were to throw a Hail Mary and spend money on one thing in your gym, this actually would be the thing
that would be it,
right?
Yeah.
This would be it, because you're literally getting sales and booked appointments. But the place that you're coming from is not going to be a place of abundance and service. It's going to be a place of scarcity and neediness, and that's going to make it really hard for you to sell effectively. So that's why my advice is be stable, be coming from that good place where when you're in a sales consult, you're good either way. Whether they sign up, awesome. If they don't, that's okay too. You just want to figure out if you truly are a good fit or not. So anyway, that's really what I wanted to say as far as who we're for. I've got a special offer. So the first 5 people who comment the word free, we're going to give you your first month free. So it doesn't include ad spend. There's an onboarding fee, but we're going to give you your first month free to get your feet wet, because really who this is for is people who have tried marketing before, especially marketing companies before, and they haven't seen great results. I don't want you to be scared off of paid ads, because post-COVID, figuring out how to sell and market literally saved my gym. And I want you to be able to plug that into your business as well, but without all the stress and hassle that I had to go through to figure it out. So that's what we want to do, is to give 5 months for, 1 month free to the first 5 people.
And that's pretty awesome, guys. I will tell you, like, in terms of rates, so what you would expect for somebody to, because what's the going rate I was paying a company $1,200 a month just to run ads. Right.
Yeah.
When I was, like I said, when I was looking at the nurture company, it was like $2,200 for just 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours, as opposed to whatever 14 times 7 is. So I was expecting it to be a lot. Now I'm willing to take chances and invest, but like, I don't know how you've done it at this point, but guys, you would be shocked. So I'll leave you with that. I mean, you don't have to talk prices or anything like that, but you would be freaking shocked at you. It's just like, really, that's what it is. It's pretty cool. So don't be shy about typing in free. Don't be shy about hopping on a call with JP. And like, you can hear his integrity. Like, if he doesn't feel you're in a good spot, if it's not the right thing for your business, like, what does he want to do? Waste his time with you going in and out within a month or two? Like, it doesn't serve anybody. And that was one of the things, like, you guys know I'm really big on integrity. And that's very important for me. The last company I was using was shit on integrity. And it, like, I sensed it even. And I've heard stories, but I also heard a couple of people got some good results. And that was temporarily, though. So I gave him a shot. And then I'm like, I didn't listen to my gut on this one. I got burned bad. But like, you just don't have to worry. Like, JP and the team, like Shannon and Jared, they are phenomenal. And you brought up Corey Willis, right? He was on our Scale Mastermind call talking about gym leads, actually. I don't know if I told you about that, but one of the best things he said about it is just like, you guys were on it. So like, they don't just run your ads and do your lead nurture. They have office hours where you can come into and dial things in. You get one-on-ones to build out the campaigns, the offers, dial in, like, what is the radius, the zip codes, all those things. You get one-on-ones with this stuff. So it's like, you're getting a little bit of a marketing mentorship with this, which is really cool. And, you know, JP left that stuff out, but I think it's important for you guys to know. If you have hangups, if there is something that you're just not sure of, or you need clarification on, or whatever, you want to try something, they are so communicative. Whereas these other, like, these large agencies, like, they don't give a rat's ass. They just don't. That's what I hear all the time. That's what I've experienced, right? They'll get back to you maybe, right? When you want to cancel, they'll get back to you.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, don't be shy about it, guys. He's not going to twist your arm on this stuff. If you're not a good fit, he's not even going to let you in on it. So if you're not in a good place, stability wise, not going to let you in on it.
Yeah. Now what I will say is, if you're not in a good place yet, just stay tuned. If you're following Gym Leads or you're following me, my goal is to give it all away, give away everything that I know to help you grow and scale your gym, so you can get into a place where you're stable, that you can work for us or work with us. I can't remember who said it, but it's not a silver bullet, it's 100 golden BBs. So I want to give you the lessons that I've learned personally from me, working with other gym owners, and going through various different programs to stack all those BBs so your gym starts to stabilize, make more money, and you can get into a place where you're ready for, true growth and true scale.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. And you guys have a lot of cool stuff, some free stuff too, for people who aren't ready yet. And so if you're watching this later, like, still type in comment free. If you watch this tomorrow, because you don't make the recordings live, or you watch it next week, you're listening to this on the podcast, which will air in 1 to 2 weeks, comment free. Go inside of our Gym Owner Freedom Facebook group, comment free, or just jp@gymleads.io, jp@gymleads.io. That's your email, right?
Yep.
Should have an email there on it. And like, even if you're not one of the first 5 to get this free month, he'll shoot you the free stuff that he's got. You're about to launch, I believe.
I made it actually specially for this. I've got a video training on exactly how to make Facebook ads, and I've got a swipe file with images and copy that you can use to go ahead and launch your own Facebook ads.
Awesome. Yeah. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're not one of the first 5, and I see they're being taken now, I see Jay, I see Akeem the Dream. I love it. Joe, we gotcha. But yeah, if you're not one of the first 5, don't be discouraged. Just write it anyways. He'll get you a bunch of free shit regardless. And if, like you said, if you're not in that stable place, if you're not sales oriented yet, he'll hook you up with stuff to get you moving along that way, get some stability, so that you can then get leverage with your paid ads and your appointment setters. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs, and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, JP, awesome having you on, man.
Yeah, that was a blast. That went quick.
It did. I know. It's like we were going to let's do this 30 minutes and we're like 45 in already. It always happens that way. But yeah, so like if you're cool with it, I'd love to have you on too in the future, like in I don't know, maybe a month or so ish, if you'd be willing to come back on. And if you have any personal questions for him too, he's inside of the Gym Owner Freedom Facebook group. So you can just find him, shoot him a DM. He'd be happy to chat, or just throw it right in this. Kenneth, another one free. Awesome. That's great, guys. So JP, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
All right, everybody. We are going to be on next Thursday, same bad time, same bad place, inside of this Facebook group. Thursday, 12 p.m. PST. We will be there. We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.